The day has finally come. Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe choose a house, a life together heart. It was a quiet morning in Scotland, the kind of stillness that makes every sound, every heartbeat, feel amplified. The mist rolled over the hills, brushing against the heather fields that stretched endlessly beyond the stone walls. Sam Heughan stood by the window of his car, watching the soft light spill across the valley. Today wasn't a filming day. It wasn't a press day. It was their day. For the first time in years, Sam and Caitriona Balfe weren't meeting as co-stars. They were meeting as something far more real, two people standing at the edge of a shared future. A promise long overdue. Ever since Outlander began, their chemistry had become legendary. Fans had begged, hoped, even prayed that their on-screen love would someday spill into the real world. And while the cameras stopped rolling years ago, something between them never faded. 10 years, Kate, Sam said softly, his voice filled with the same warmth that had made millions fall in love with Jamie Fraser. 10 years of pretending, and still, it feels real. Caitriona smiled, her eyes misty yet radiant. Maybe that's because it always was. They stood outside a small cottage nestled near Glencoe, a house that felt alive with history. Its ivy-covered walls whispered stories of love, storms, and quiet evenings by the fire. The moment Caitriona stepped inside, she felt it, home. The secret they carried. Behind the red carpet smiles and magazine covers, both of them had endured years of silent struggle. Sam, alone through countless nights, had buried himself in his whiskey brand, his training, his charity work, anything to escape the emptiness. Caitriona, balancing fame with motherhood, had learned to smile for the cameras even when her heart ached. They had tried to move on, but fate has a strange way of bringing people back to the truth they once ran from. When the final season of Outlander wrapped, the silence between them was unbearable. One night, after a late shoot, Sam had walked Caitriona to her trailer. Neither spoke, neither dared to. Then, without warning, she turned to him. "Why did we never try?" she whispered. Sam froze. For years, that question had haunted him. "Because I was afraid I'd lose you completely if I did." Her tears glistened under the studio lights. "You lost me anyway." That night changed everything. A new beginning. Months later, away from the public eye, they began to meet, quietly, secretly. No red carpets, no headlines, just coffee, laughter, and the rediscovery of something beautifully simple. When Caitriona's marriage quietly ended, there was no scandal, no war of words, only silence. The kind that spoke volumes. Now, standing in the old cottage, she looked around the sunlit room and whispered, "I can see us here. You, me, maybe a garden. Maybe peace." Sam stepped closer, taking her hand. "I've spent years searching for peace, Kate. Turns out, it was always standing right beside me. Choosing the house." The real estate agent had no idea who they truly were. To him, they were just another couple searching for a home in the Highlands. But when Caitriona ran her hand across the old wooden banister, Sam saw something shift in her eyes, the same look she had when she first said "I love you" as Claire Fraser. He knew then, this was it. The cottage wasn't grand, it wasn't glamorous, but it was real, creaking floors, uneven tiles, the faint scent of peat smoke still clinging to the walls. And somehow, that imperfection made it perfect. "I think this house has seen love before," Caitriona murmured. "Then it'll recognize us," Sam replied. The firelight confession. That evening, after the agent left, they stayed. Sam lit the fireplace, the orange glow dancing across their faces. Caitriona sat on the old couch, her bare feet tucked under her. The air was filled with quiet, not awkwardness, but the rare kind of silence that only comes when two souls are at peace. "Do you ever regret it?" she asked suddenly. "Regret what?" "Not saying something sooner." Sam stared into the flames. "Every day." Caitriona reached out, touching his cheek. "Then say it now." He turned to her, his voice breaking. I love you, Kate. I always have. From the first scene, from the first take, from the first moment you looked at me. Her eyes filled with tears, but she smiled through them. And I love you. Not the character, not the story. You. The fire crackled between them as they kissed, not as actors, not as colleagues, but as two people finally surrendering to a truth that had waited a decade. The day after. The next morning, sunlight poured into the cottage. Caitriona, wrapped in a blanket, walked to the kitchen where Sam was brewing coffee. There was something dreamlike about the domesticity of it all, a far cry from the chaos of set life. She took the cup, inhaled the aroma, and smiled. It feels strange, like this is where we were always meant to end up. Sam nodded. No scripts, no retakes. Just us. Outside, the world went on unaware. Fans still speculated, the tabloids still guessed, but for once, Sam and Caitriona didn't care. They had chosen something far more precious than fame, life. The decision to stay. Weeks passed, and what began as a secret retreat slowly became home. They furnished the cottage together, laughing as they argued about colors and furniture. Caitriona planted lavender by the window. Sam hung his guitar by the fireplace. At night, they'd cook, sip whiskey, and watch old movies. There were no interviews, no managers calling, no pressure, just two hearts rediscovering simplicity. One evening, as the rain tapped gently on the roof, Caitriona looked at Sam and said, "You know what scares me?" "What?" "That this might be too perfect. That one day, we'll wake up and it'll all disappear." Sam smiled softly. "Then we'll build it again. As many times as it takes. The world finds out." But secrets never last forever. A fan spotted them in a small village market, laughing, holding hands, wearing matching wool coats. Within hours, social media exploded. Sam and Caitriona living together? Outlander love story becomes real. Caitriona's new life in the Highlands. Their phones lit up with messages, agents panicked, tabloids went wild. But for the first time in years, neither of them hid. Caitriona took Sam's hand and whispered, "Maybe it's time." He nodded. That evening, they posted a single photo, the view from their cottage window. No caption, no statement, just a picture of the sun setting over the Scottish hills. Fans knew instantly. The world melted. A quiet celebration. That night, the two sat outside as twilight settled. Sam opened a bottle of whiskey and poured 2 glasses. The air was cool, but her hand in his was warm. "To us," she said softly. "To home," he added. The stars blinked above them, silent witnesses to a love that had defied time, distance, and expectation. Somewhere between fiction and reality, they had finally found the truth. Epilogue, a life chosen. Months later, the cottage was alive with laughter and life. Friends visited, fans respected their privacy, and the once hidden love had become something open, grounded, and beautiful. Sometimes, Sam would wake before dawn, watching Caitriona sleep beside him. The woman who had shared his screen, his secrets, his silence, now shared his home. He'd brush a strand of hair from her face and whisper, "We made it." And in her half-sleep, she'd smile and whisper back, "We always were meant to." Outside, the mist rolled across the highlands, wrapping the house in silver. Inside, 2 hearts, after years of pretending, finally belonged.